Hello, this morning I'm tuning for a concert in new space. It's a new building and really pleased to see inside. I'm not the regular tuner here, so I'll be looking at the piano for the first time. So I don't know the piano, it's got a Steinway cover on here, and so I want to talk through the whole process of concert tuning. So first of all, when we take the cover off, it's important to put it with the bottom up, underside up, so that it doesn't get dust on it, otherwise that can scratch the piano. I've noticed there are already scratches on the piano, so it's probably not a new piano. Here's the serial number on the piano, so that will tell us how old it is. Because the Steinway fall is integrated into the cheeks, you often find there's a pencil inside a Steinway ground, as there is here. So we're doing the assessment at the moment, and the first thing we notice is there's a pencil. That could cause rattling. When assessing the piano, I'd like to raise the stop rail up a bit, so I've raised it up permanently so it's easier to check whether it needs lubricating, and we can see it does. You can press them up and they should, a new piano, they fall down. So lubricating the balance rail, hundreds of times we talked about that. It's a standard job to do with talc, not with wet lubricant, dry lubricant. It would be good at the same time to lubricate the rollers, that's with talc again, and new rollers have talc on them. It just makes them a bit smoother and stops any noises too. And we have a date here, I think, which we discovered, which I think is 7/12/22. That might be the age of the piano. I'll have to check. I don't know the age of the piano exactly, and I'm going to look it up afterwards. Looking at the hammers, there's hardly any indentation at all, so it's hardly been used. So the main work to do is cleaning and lubricating the balance rail pins and also lubricating the rollers with talc. The touch weight is fine, it's almost like a new piano, so 50 grams down weight would be absolutely ideal. 29 grams up weight is fine, and lubricating the balance rail just add a bit more finesse to the touch, and lubricating the rollers too. So now we're going to do fine tuning, and the pitch is already at 441, which is excellent, so we can leave it at that. I start my tunings from C, and as you can see here, it's almost the same as A. As someone pointed out, this is not a good tuning amp for tuning, but it's very good for visual on the videos, so sorry it's not the best tuning up. If you are familiar with tuning apps, would like to comment which one you like, then it would be really good to hear. So I don't want to alter too much because it's a concert tonight. So make a decision of whether we need to alter anything or just tune the unisons. So now we need to look at the piano. It's a concert tonight. I don't want to alter too many tuning pins if you don't have to. Obviously if they need altering, and if you're in the trade and a regular concert tuner, you can give your own opinion. But basically, if it was a pitch raise, I would like to do it the day before and then retune it on the day, or even more days before would be useful. We want stability, obviously, that's the most important thing. We don't want notes to go out of tune when the concert's on. So let's listen to the octaves. We notice the A and the C, they're both acceptable. And it doesn't look as though it needs much tuning. The regular tuner is on holiday at the moment, that's why I'm doing this one. Let's listen to all the A's first. And that's pretty consistent. I'm listening to any octaves that might be out. There's an octave that's slightly out. We'd have to make a decision. Is it worth altering, or should we go for stability? That unison's out. So concert tuning is not like a regular 6-monthly tuning in a client's house. We're having a concert tonight, and it's really important I don't alter any more tuning pins than absolutely necessary. That's slightly out too. So a few unisons slightly out. So let's get on and tune it, and we can start with the C and check the unisons. So the octave isn't absolutely perfect, but I'm not going to alter it. Again, the reason is because there's a concert tonight. I don't want to run the risk of destabilizing slightly. Obviously, if you set the pins well, it should be stable anyway, but on a concert tuning, we want stability. Recently I've done a pitch raise, which is totally different pitch raise tuning, totally different mentality. There you have to alter all the tuning pins. And this is very consistently in tune. So this is really just a check, because the last tuner tuned it pretty perfectly. Again, very slight, but not worth bothering about. I'm sure if you're in the trade and you're a concert tuner, you'll think, well, it is worth bothering about. If it's regular tuning that I'm doing myself, then obviously you get used to it. And there's a couple in Oxford I regularly tune. And those pianos, it's my tuning, so I know exactly how I'd like it. Because tuners vary slightly. Now that's a unison. So unison's absolutely essential that we do the unisons. So it's the right hand string. Clearly the right hand string. I check the octave. So the left hand is fine, middle one's fine. Right hand string. So it's going to just raise it up first. I think that's as good as we can get it. Oh, now that one's slightly out. It may be that hitting it hard put the other string out. Let's try that one again. So the middle one. Middle one slightly out. So on this first note I can gauge what sort of purity we can get. No piano is 100% pure. I'm going to accept all of those. And then that one, very slightly out, but again, you have to make a decision really. And that one is more out. So let's just try the unisons there. So those two, that's pretty perfect. And I think that's as pure as we can get it. Now I've checked right up to the top treble and I'm satisfied that the unisons are as good as they can get. As I say, sometimes to make a decision and say, well, that unison, I don't want to alter it, it might actually go out more if I alter it. So it's best not to alter anything. This is a check tuning, really. So the last tuner's done a wonderful job. Now, normally in a tuning I'm checking fourths and fifths. Yeah, I'm not going to alter them. They're really good. So there's a slight beating on that unison. So if I check fourths and fifths, I can decide which string. They're almost the same. Well, the unison's better, but the honest truth is I don't really think I needed to do that. And I'm not going to touch that one. A very infinitesimal beating on it. And that one neither. Well, that one's a bit stronger. That was pretty perfect. That's noticeably beating. And that's flat. Sorry, sharp. Both of them are sharp. So we could alter both of these. both sharp. So now this one has to go down as well. That's quite significant. I'm trying to get this as perfect as possible, but there's something going on there which I can't get rid of. So that's about as perfect as we can get that. It doesn't sound as perfect as the ones next to it, but sometimes with the bass strings particularly, there's a slight inconsistency, because obviously they're not like the singles, they're not like the wire strings here, which are very similar and pure. The coppers obviously wound round can create slight differences, very slight buzzes sometimes. This is as good as we can get that one. We could try, if we had longer, to take the string off, put a turn in it and so on, but I don't think we want to do that today because there's a concert tonight. Now that octave as well is slightly out. I haven't gone through the whole piano now. Just check all the fifths and octaves. Mainly listening to the top treble. And with the action block in, you can hear it's very optimal where the hammer hits the string at the top here to try and produce the maximum volume, and I think that's probably as good as we can get. As we've got the fall off, I'm going to check the voicing, and it's pretty good. Slight variety, that's just slightly brighter. We mark it on here. It's easier to get the marks off if you mark it there. There's minimal voicing, as you'd expect. It's not been used very much. If it's been used a lot, then there might be lots of voicing. And I don't really think it's very significant, this. Really, I'll leave the marks on, but I don't think it's very significant voicing. Well, there's one that we could mark, and we'll voice that one. Round here, again, slight voicing. I'm getting chalk on the keys now. Someone's put a cross there, and that one there, slightly brighter. Don't know what the cross is doing. Voicing again, possibly. On the break point here, where you see the strings crossing over, then that's where you often need to voice. Different tone there. So I think we can voice those. There's a slight dispute about this, but Ulrich Gerhardt's, when we asked him how deep can you go with the needles, at the point he said 1.5 millimeters. I've mentioned this before because PTA did a course, went on a course by him, and it was 1 day servicing and how to service a Steinway in 1 day. So both of these two, we're just going gently. Obviously, if it's very gentle and not too deep, you could reface it and get back to the original. But if you go too deep, you damage the hammer. Obviously, you cut the fibres, and you don't want to do that. So those two we can voice, and there's one here that I can voice very gently. Again, there's hardly any voicing to do. We can voice differently for the onocorda, but that's another process we won't be doing now. I've mentioned that in earlier videos, Brendel, for instance, was somebody who liked the unicorda very, very different. So let's just one or two here, and this is very, very light voicing. We'll have to see what the results are. This is the first time on this piano, so I'd like to get to know a piano if it's one that I'm regularly tuning for, and this isn't one of my regular tunings. It's tuners on holiday, so I'm just having a quick look at it now, but did want to do the assessment in case it comes my way again. There we are. Let's push that back in and we can double check it and see what we feel about the voicing on those. I'm going to put the block in because that does alter the action at the top particularly. There we are. It's got to come out slightly to get the block in. There we are. Now let's have a listen to them. I think that's better. And that one as well. I think we'll leave it for now and bear in mind ways of improving it. You never get perfection, always going for it. Again, I can hear a bit of voicing there, but once you get the microsip on the voicing, you could have spent all day voicing. But very insignificant really. And the touch is excellent. We've measured all the regulation, that seems fine, which is not surprising since it's hardly been used. So it's just lubrication really. You can see here, those keys should go down, and they're not. So it's got stiff, probably through lack of use, I would think, just standing in a cool room, something like that. So I hope that's been helpful. We're just going to play the piano through now. So a wonderful piano, beautifully made. Just trying to get the opinion of the tone and touch. So on this kind of piece, the pianist wants to make sure that if he's playing Alberti bass here, then it's going to work consistently on all the notes. So he wants to get it as quiet as possible, and that's to do with fine regulation and voicing to make sure it's consistent. This is about as quiet as I can play it and rely on it, and I think that's fine. And the treble, we don't want that to be too loud in this piece. So nice melodic flow, and it's a beautiful piano, and it is consistent. And I think just lubrication is going to help. Again, we want to get the touch as fine as possible so the pianist can play as quietly as possible, and that is really the goal that we've got. I hope this has been helpful, and thank you very much for listening. So in summary, the concerts today, so I don't want to do any major tuning. I want to try and keep the piano as stable as possible and just double check it. As it's the first time I've approached this piano, I wanted to just check the whole piano, see whether there's any work that could improve it. If you've got any comments, please do make them below. I'm sure if you're a regular concert tuner, you'll have several things that you want to think about and maybe disagree with.